Imagine someone you know, someone you love, that is healthy and full of life, and then, as what seems as though in the blink of an eye, they're gone. They have been taken by a demon that is bigger than anything they could have ever imagined. Drugs create something within a person that is uncontrollable. How many of you know someone that have decided to try out any drug one day? At a party, with a friend, or on their own? Now how many of those people have the willpower to stop after that one time? That one time that they swore to themselves would mean nothing. Hi, my name is Nicole Surace. I'm 18 years old and I have experienced the loss of a loved one due to a heroin overdose. Nicolette Melanie Faith Panina was 24 years old and it passed away on October 31st of 2016. 9 months ago lived one of the most beautiful and free-spirited people that I've ever met. I received a phone call on Halloween from my boyfriend, and little did I know that conversation would end in disbelief after he told me that his sister had overdosed and died. I didn't know anything about heroin. I didn't know it could affect me without physically using the drug. It's 9 months later and I watch my boyfriend's family hurt every day. But I hope that by the end of this speech, the epidemic will be noticed and the word will be spread. Heroin is one of the most destructive and addictive opioids out there, and once one starts, stopping seems impossible. But let me begin by explaining what heroin is. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, heroin can be defined as an illegal, highly addictive drug processed from morphine. Its use has repercussions that extend far beyond the individual user. The addiction only grows stronger each time. Deputy Attorney General Rod J. Rosenstein from the United States Department of Justice spoke about the drug on June 6th of 2017. He stated that people are dying of drug overdoses in record numbers. We're not talking about a slight increase, there's a horrifying surge in drug overdose. These drugs have become far from pure as well. They're being cut with other substances such as fentanyl. But fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid that is like morphine but 50 to 100 times more potent. This additive is unnoticeable when mixed with a drug like heroin. It forces the drug into your system faster, which causes your body to shut down. The effects that heroin has on your body is not in the moment, but long-term as well. When you ask an abuser what they feel as the drug enters their system, and they respond with a rush. Once the rush has ended, the body slows down. Mental function is clouded, heart function slows, and breathing is also severely slowed, sometimes enough to be life-threatening. The slowing down of the breathing and heart function is what killed Nicolette Panina. Nicolette was an addict throughout her young adult life. She was fighting demons within herself, and those demons are what ultimately ended her life. She was loved by so many, and her choice to begin using again is because she was unable to see just how loved she was, regardless of her mistakes. She was sober and happy for about 4 years. Her sister Jacqueline is older, 28. Frankie, who is my boyfriend, is younger and 18. Natalie and Frank, her parents, are in their late 40s and now have adopted Nicolette's 2 children and are raising them. While she didn't necessarily choose to become a mother, at the young age of 22, she didn't have a choice. Then 2 years later, became a mother to a baby girl for a second time. She was battling with herself when it came to bipolar disorder and depression. These factors all led to her reasoning for drug use. Her family wanted nothing for the best for her. What do you think happens to a family when their child or a sibling dies? Do they feel angry, sad, empty? Are they relieved that their loved one isn't suffering anymore? That they're free of all of their pain and their demons? The answer is all of the above and so much more. There are so many emotions that are felt because they don't know what they could have done differently to save them. Kristen Gourlay on NPR.org wrote an article about a woman who lost her son. She knows some parents might judge her for feeling relief or blame her son for not just quitting drugs, but those in the same situation understand how relief gets tossed around in endless waves of sadness and anger. No one knows how to feel unless they've experienced it themselves. Those who have lost someone go through their daily motions with a piece of them missing. Parents feel as though they failed their child. Nicolette endured rehab and moved back home years ago, yet her mother and father, Natalie and Frank, feel more guilty than they ever have before. You never think that something like this could happen to someone you love. You might think that the worst of it is over. I remember booking my flight home for the funeral. I remember my boyfriend picking me up from the airport. I remember not knowing what to say. What is there to say? I flew to New York from Savannah, Georgia to be there for his 24-year-old sister's funeral. When we got home, we began talking about the arrangements regarding who was going to be watching Nicolette's 2 children for the next couple of days, while their mother's wake took place. I reminisce still to this day. Between pictures and stories, we began to realize that even though she was physically gone, her spirit would live on. In the beginning, I wrote that the National Institute of Drug Abuse defined heroin as a highly addictive drug, and its repercussions extend far beyond what the individual user can't control, but I couldn't agree more. The repercussions extend to the family, after the user passes away due to an overdose. Nicolette's spirit will live through her children, and they will know how much they were loved by their mother. The increase in death due to heroin overdose is frightening, and something needs to change. Imagine your loved one is here one day and gone the next. You have loved them with all you have, but you still couldn't save them. Just remember that the power of a drug is unmeasurable to that of a person.